actually not a part of GVC, but standalone, but highly labor intensive. One of the biggest advantages India has is a young population, less than 29 years of median age, and a big advantage, it should convert into labor intensive industry. So what are labor intensive industries? Normally people think of textiles, people think of leather and footwear, both leather and non-leather. We are also working on that. So we'll be coming out with something on textiles in about 2 months' time. But there are some other smaller sectors apparently which are also very labor intensive and not noticed normally. And one of them is the hand and power tools sector. We don't realize how big this sector is. Globally, this sector is going to hit about $180 billion, 180 to $200 billion. And we are a very small player in that. The purpose of this report is to identify this particular sector and see how it can be boosted. If done well, and if we implement a lot of the recommendations that are there at the end of the report, the details will be coming in the next presentation, we will be able to touch a 25 billion plus exports only of hand tools. You have to think through. It is something which looks very small because we all use hammers, we all use screwdrivers, we all use wrenches, all these things. Your cars have it, your houses have it. However, entire industry also uses them. These are the essentials to any manufacturing process. So the scope for this is that. Secondly, there is fundamentally just one or two inputs to it, either steel or some other metal, and maybe a few plastics. Rest is all machine work, foundry, forging, etc. Very, very labor intensive. India is very, very competitive. So we are focused on that. What needs to be done? Hand tools are made in clusters. Punjab is one major cluster. That's why we have got a lot of colleagues from Punjab. So, the Jalandhar, Ludhiana belt has a lot of these things. You will find one cluster actually in and around Delhi, Faridabad and all. You will find a cluster in Gujarat, Rajkot and other areas. You will find a cluster in the south near Coimbatore. They work in clusters because they all live off each other. And those clusters then can be very, very competitive. So that is how we have worked. There is a strong window of opportunity. This report is very opportunistically timed. When we prepared that report, we didn't know what is going to happen to the global economic scenario. It has come at a very opportune time when we actually have an opportunity because we are hopefully hit by lower tariffs compared to others. So if we actually act fast, this is an industry we can dominate globally. This is not one of those sectors we are talking of taking a market share from 2% to 5 or 8%. We're talking of taking a 25% market share globally and become among the top 2-3 countries in hand tools. These are not made in big countries. They are basically talking of China, Mexico, Brazil. India competes with them. That is it. Basically, the recommendations on 3 areas: have clusters with good infrastructure which are world class, with testing facilities and all. Do some major reforms. It is unbelievable. The sector is not asking for money. They are asking for good electricity, good water supply, and a whole host of things. Enable us to get good raw material at a decent price, and the raw material is basically iron, steel, and metals, and a whole host of such things. Simplify procedures, allow us to get capital goods, these new machines to make this stuff. That's all. They are not asking for money. However, you know that these decisions take time in government. So we are basically saying, absent action on that, maybe we could help them with some bridge loans, etc. So there are some schemes also there which we are recommending so that the sector can be supported. This is a fantastic, urgent opportunity. And if we capitalize, we will see the results in 6 to 8 months. Because unlike building a big factory which may take 3 years, they can actually double their production in a year's time. That's the kind of opportunity that is there. They're all small and medium enterprises. They are not mega enterprises. But in totality, it is mega. So we hope the ministries will act on this. We hope that the government takes this further. And I compliment the team. I compliment our knowledge partners who are here for the hard work that has gone in over the last 6 months. It's a very realistic report, and I think we'll see some success in future. Thank you.